Jets, I hear them say it now.
Jets, white, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win tonight. White, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight? Super Bowl dreams are still in sight. All we gotta do is win.
What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Joe Skirto, aka Turn Up the Jets. Before we get into Hard Knocks Episode 2 recap, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you have, much appreciated. And if you are new, welcome. Very thankful for you tuning in. Also, like the video if you actually liked it, and you can follow me on social media platforms at Turn Up the Jets, all one word, on Twitter and Instagram. I'm sorry, on X and Instagram. Whatever, Elon Musk. But yes, Hard Knocks Episode 2, man. It dropped last night at 10 Eastern time, and I think they're a solid 2 for 2. I thought it was a great episode. Maybe the first episode was more exciting because it was the first episode, but no, I think they've crushed the first 2 episodes. And I know they've done things a little differently. We all knew that they weren't going to show players get cut, because who the hell wants a camera on them when they get fired? I don't care how much money they're making. I don't care what the profession is. You're humans. So I get why the Jets didn't want to do that, and I really respect that decision. And I respect Max for really granting their wishes. And also, I think another part was, and it wasn't really announced, but the human, or I guess, like inside their lives, like their social lives more so. It's not as personal as the other ones in past years. Kind of showed their lives out of football as well. And that's, it could kind of give the viewer more about that player. Maybe you could become more attached, but that's probably another aspect that they just weren't going to do. And they already do it with One Jets Drive at times. So maybe Jets players or the staff was just thinking that was a little too much. Let's just get the football life aspect. You get all the traveling, you get all the games, all the meetings, all the practices. Like, they got enough footage to show and make a solid 50-minute episode a week. And I think they have done a very good job. I am a person who has been on the record, and when they were announced, and I have a video posted on my channel when they were announced HBO, that were announced that Hard Knocks were going to be on HBO. Oh, no, the Jets were going to be on HBO doing Hard Knocks. My Lord. Should I just end the video and redo it? That was tough. I didn't give a shit that they were going to be on Hard Knocks. And I said it multiple times. Who gives a shit? Let's just win a game. And, they have One Jets Drive, and, you would hate for it to be a distraction. And, people were saying, how do you think it's going to be a distraction? Even Aaron Rodgers was thinking to himself, it might be, but now they've killed it. NFL Films is professional. The Jets seem like they're happy, and they seem like they're thriving with this series. Get right into it, I guess, in the recapping of the episode. The Mentalist. He was really cool. No, I do not think that was staged. Why in the world would HBO just be like, hey, when he comes out, tell him that you think it's going to be 31-21 Jets over the 49ers, and also put this goldfish in your pocket, when he pulls out the cards, and then when the cameras aren't looking, pull it out of your pocket and pretend it was the card. No, come on, dude. They're not thinking that they're not thinking too much into that shit. That's that dude's job. He essentially can read their body language of what they're thinking. That's literally what he does as a job. He's a mentalist. He's basically a magician. He's out of control, and he's very talented. And in the reactions too. It's what are they going to tell him? Act surprised? Michael Carter was like, no way, dude. Michael Clemens was hilarious in the audience. Rodgers was laughing. Nicole Hardman was definitely, pretty shocked in terms of, he was bugging out basically in terms of him being able to guess the score. So no, I do not think that was staged at all. Why would they even put that in the show, especially put it in the first 3 to 5 minutes if it wasn't even real? They're doing this because this is the real thing. Nobody is acting. Nobody is acting on this series. Like, these are the real guys. Like, this is their job, and they're being themselves. No one is acting. No one is staging anything. Again, and this goes into my next topic of Robert Saleh. Just throwing tons of Fs at the offensive line. Just, bitching them out, really. I mean, there's no other, like, maybe lack of a better word, but he mother effed them. And they deserved it. They looked terrible in that joint practice against the Carolina Panthers, especially when you looked at the other side. The Jets were pure dominant. Quinn Williams, 10, 11 sacks. Quinn Williams has that switch too, like Michael Clemens, because him screaming, I'm him, and mother F, and blah, blah, blah. I never seen that side of Quinn, and that's probably why he's an all-pro defensive tackle, because he has a competitive mentality, and he's an absolute beast. And, he is a top 3 defensive tackle in the league. I mean, how do you disagree with that? But anyway, Robert Saleh. People are trying to make the narrative that the only reason he did that was because he definitely heard the noise of people saying that he's too soft. I mean, come on. You think he's watching WFN, whatever it's called, the fan, FAN? Like, that's what Tierney was trying to say, that, he heard the noise. You think he heard Sal, whatever the frig his name is, and that's why he's mother effing his team? No, he's mother effing his team because he's the mother effing coach, dude. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, this is a good team. You can finally erase the narrative of being a shitty offense, a shitty offensive line, and a shitty organization. This is the year to erase that, at least for a year. Hopefully a few more. They have the talent. Let's freaking go. He tried to rally his troops. He tried to piss them off. He tried to pump them up. He's a coach, dude. You don't think he's ever a mother F them in the first 2 years as a coach? You're out of your mind if you don't think so. No, it's not for the cameras. No, it's not because he heard the noise on your radio show. That is a bunch of garbage, dude. You really think he was acting? No, he was pissed off. He just watched his team get absolutely destroyed. His offensive line, rather, in pressuring his 4-time MVP quarterback, who is the golden child of this franchise now. You got to keep that dude upright, or it's no point of trading what you did. And there's no point in investing and going all in if you get this dude hurt. And I've been on the record, too, that maybe we're overreacting, because typically in training camp, the defensive line and the defense overall is ahead of the offense, and the defensive line ultimately beats up on the offensive line. And especially when the Jets play the Jets. The Jets defensive line is the best defensive line in football. I made that clear last video. They got 8, they're like 8 guys deep of very good defensive linemen. So, yeah, you could overreact, but he's the coach. He should be the one pissed off. He wants to see them getting better. He didn't do it for the cameras. It didn't seem that way. And if they're going to, like, what are they going to acting class? If they're going to do that, well, what is the point of even doing this? If we're not seeing the real thing, we're not seeing the real Robert Saleh. No, that's a bunch of bullshit, dude. I truly think Robert Saleh was pissed off, and I truly think that this was not the first time he has mother effed the team. You don't think he mother effed the team when they lost 6 in a row? At the end of the speech was the greatest part. We were a 7-10 football team with a really good defense in a mediocre offense. Like, change that shitty narrative, right? Let's be a really good defense with a really good offense. Let's just be a really good team. Flip the switch, he said. I loved everything about it. I thought it was electric. It didn't make me feel any worse about the offensive line. Like, can we just stop overreacting there? The Jets have not had Dwayne Brown all preseason or all training camp. AVT and Laken Tomlinson have been, really eased in. They've been super cautious with those guys. AVT just came back from a season-ending injury with his triceps last year. They're easing these guys in. Essentially, we're watching the 2nd to 3rd string guys get beat. Like, wow, what a shocker. If you look at it, we have not seen once an offensive line that consists of Dwayne Brown, AVT, Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern, and Mekhi Becton. I mean, Becton hasn't even got any first reps yet. Becton might not be a first guy, but still, like, maybe that's your best 5 there. We have not seen any of that. Even if it was McGovern and then Tippmann and then AVT, Laken Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown. We haven't seen any of those duos or groups, not duos. We haven't seen any of those. So before we just, give up and think everything's over because the offensive line and are super concerned by Robert Saleh's speech. No, let's just say Robert Saleh is the right guy to lead this Jets football team. And I will, just, I don't know. I'll take that to my deathbed, dude. I'm not even being dramatic here. And I'm just so pissed off right now. I'm a Robert Saleh guy, dude. I believe in Robert Saleh. I will go down without a fight with Robert Saleh. That sounds ridiculous, but I'm Team Crow, man. I am. And I think the Jets are going to win with him. And I think he's going to be a big part of it. And he's going to be the alpha male. He'll be fine. He's a leader of men. The players obviously love him. And yes, coaches mother F their players. I mean, Rex Ryan did it in 2010, and that was the highlight of the show. Nobody was worried then when they were eating cheeseburgers. And that team went to the AFC Championship. So Robert Saleh is good. He's the leader. I feel good about him. Jets defensive line, absolutely gross. They're so good. Even watching it up closely, with the footage of the Panthers game, Jermaine Johnson's a beast. Bryce Huff is a beast. Will McDonald is going to be a star. He might just screw around and be a star, dude. Like, he looks that good. And it's the preseason overreactions. There's always those overreactions. And that's my overreaction. That Will McDonald was the right pick. He hasn't played a single game, but hey, neither is Jackson Smith-Njigba. He hasn't played a single game either. That spin move, the athleticism, his bend, just his power. The dude's a beast. And he's getting piercings all over his face. That must have hurt like a mother. But yeah, I am really big on Will McDonald. Hey, like many, when they drafted him, I was like, what? Another edge rusher? What? Like, they didn't need him, right? They didn't need him. You can never get enough defensive linemen and never enough edge rushers or weapons on the defensive side. I get it. I still think they're lying. They would have taken Broderick Jones if the Patriots didn't screw them over. They would have been crazy if they took another tight end. I don't necessarily believe that whole thing that they were going to take Mayer. I don't believe it. Or Jahmyr Gibbs if he was on the board. No, I don't believe that. They were taking Broderick Jones if he was there at 15. He unfortunately wasn't because he goes 14 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Will McDonald is a stud, and the sky's the limit. I think he's going to have a pretty solid role for a rookie. We kind of thought going in that maybe he'd have a Jermaine Johnson-like role like Jermaine did in 2022 in his rookie year. I think McDonald might even have a larger role than that. I really do. He's that good. I mean, how do you not put him on the field if he's just dominating? He's got him, Huff, and Jermaine Johnson are just going to be those guys that produce with less snaps than everybody else. And the fact that they have guys like that is very, very valuable, especially to a defensive line. So I love the move. Looking back on it, did I love the move? No, I was confused, but it makes sense. That's why Joe Douglas is the GM, and us who were complaining on the TV, probably drinking a beer and eating Doritos, are not the GM. It's that simple. So, he's been impressive. Of course, we already talked about the offensive line thing. Rodgers is Rodgers. He's thrown some ridiculous passes. And I think the Rodgers-Zach Wilson bromance is actually true, not for the cameras. You could see, Wilson saying it was a shitty play action. And it's actually cool because the play action he did today was unbelievable. If you have not seen that, please go look at it. But yeah, I think that bromance is definitely real. So, that's great. Even though I don't think Zach Wilson's going to be the Jets quarterback, I'm still going to root for the dude. I really will. I will root for Zach Wilson. Hopefully he does well. It's going to be elsewhere though. It just doesn't match up. Don't even get me started with that scenario again. It's the truth. It's the sad truth, but it's cool to see those two to kind of screw around And even Rodgers, he's a ball buster, dude. He was screwing around with Coach Campen, who they were with a long time in Green Bay. He's calling him a little bitch. He was making fun of his weight. You can just see like there's like this. And I know Rodgers, it was off air, but I've seen videos or photos that he was playing with his kids and all that good stuff. So really, really cool to see the personable, part of Aaron Rodgers. He is a jokester. You wouldn't really think that. Zach Wilson, same thing. They just, go back and forth. So that relationship is real. It was definitely cool to see. But what else happened? Did anything else like cool happen? I'm trying to think. Obviously it was the mentalist and then Saleh's speech, and I really got out of hand with that. I was blabbering because I was just pissed off that every time Saleh does something, we're trying to, belittle him or some shit. I don't know. I don't get it. I do think Saleh's going to be the guy to lead the Jets. So, Rodgers, Wilson, the offensive line. We already said that. The defensive line, the defense in general, the preseason game. Yeah, I think that's it. And if I forgot anything, just let me know. But I think that's really that I got from the episode. I'm gonna check, see if I'm missing anything. Yeah, I definitely come prepared in my videos. Now the recap, I do not, I like to prepare from the videos that I come in, but for the Hard Knocks recap, no, I'm not preparing for a TV show. And I had a glass of wine when I was watching it yesterday. Very classy, right? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I have anything else. Quentin Williams, I think I already quickly said that he was a beast. And the fight. I forgot the fight. That was hilarious because Garrett Wilson was like, dude, I am not going near Michael Clemens. No, thank you. That was a pretty crazy fight. And you could see at the end, Saleh was like, all right, dude, enough is enough. They actually got in another fight today, multiple fights with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their joint practice. And Tony Oden, the DB's coach, who's high praise, might be a head coach someday. He got a friendly fire, I think. He had to go to the hospital. I thought it was way worse. It seemed like he just like collapsed or something. Maybe he just got hit in the head or something. But yeah, it was a pretty brutal fight. There was a lot of chips today in the Buccaneers joint practice. I think Saleh's getting fed up with it. I'm interested to see next week's episode if he mentions it. But yes, it's not an act. But that's going to end it here with the Hard Knocks recap of episode 2. As always, I'm Joe here, Joe Skirto, a.k.a. Turn Up the Jets. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We are at 273. Very blessed. 27 away from 300. So that is awesome. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Really appreciate just all the support overall. It's been a lot of fun doing this. Like the video if you actually liked it, and you can follow me on social media platforms at Turn Up the Jets, all one word, on Instagram and on X. Yes, X. Well, I guess we'll see you until the next video. See ya.
Jets, I hear them say it now.
Jet, white, green, just green and white. Tell me, have you ever seen a team take flight?